No Rest for the Wicked review in under 2 minutes. Is it worth it in 2026? Let's find out. No Rest for the Wicked is one of the most unique Souls-likes you can play in 2026, and now that it's getting closer to its full 1.0 release, it finally feels like it's the game Moon Studios originally promised. The combat is slow, heavy, and really deliberate. Every swing matters, stamina matters, the boss fights feel brutal, it's the best possible combat system you can get. But what makes it stand out from other Souls-likes is it mixes combat styles with Diablo-style loot, crafting, town building, exploration, and progression systems that constantly actually give you good shit. The art style is honestly incredible too. Every area looks like a dark fantasy painting brought to life, and the atmosphere absolutely carries the game. One of the biggest improvements since launch is the grinding. Loot feels better, upgrades feel meaningful, and co-op makes the entire experience way more fun with friends. There's also the Crucible, which is basically a brutal gauntlet mode where you fight waves and waves of enemies and bosses for powerful loot and endgame progression. What I really like is the game's themes though. It captures the idea of purifying corrupted souls and the way political powers try to control the energy for themselves. It's not quite as philosophical or as deep as Dark Souls, but it still has that feeling of struggling against corruption, overcoming yourself, the Ubermensch, and trying not to go hollow mentality. Even if it doesn't have the physical manifestation of energy and essence like Dark Souls has, it has a lot going on for it, so don't go hollow. So is No Rest for the Wicked worth it in 2026? Honestly, yes. If you like Souls-like, dark fantasy world, meaningful combat, the art style from Ori and the Blind Forest, exploration and addictive loot systems with the grind being manageable now and less resource gathering, this is absolutely a game worth playing in 2026. That's my review under 2 minutes. Now, for an RPG to be considered great, what it really needs to nail is progression, cool unlocks, and the feeling that your characters are just getting stronger and stronger. And that's why Raid is actually a great game. If you download using my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen, you'll instantly unlock a huge starter pack, including the legendary Champion Harvest Jack. Then if you reach level 15, you'll also unlock another epic champion, Kellan the Shrike. But that's not all. You lucky wise ones can get a second legendary champion of your choice by using one of these codes. But remember, only one champion can be claimed. The choice is up to you. Now personally, I of course would use GETALICE. Her outfit just looks totally badass, if you ask me. Now we do have a legendary champion worth talking about, and that is the Grand Oak Paradrake. Now he is awesome. Now, you can pretty much mix and match any character, and they've got some awesome collabs now with Raid, so from your favorite franchises or other games or movies or comics or whatever, you can now kind of mix them all up. Basically, you're using the forest's will as your power, so it's an interesting kind of type of druid magic that shakes up the gameplay a lot, and honestly, it just helps deck your build. And honestly, it just fleshes out any kind of character build that you're going with. If you want a strong team, I highly recommend using him. And make sure you download using my exact QR code or my link, because the bonuses are only available if you use my code or link. How's it going, my wise ones? Today we're gonna play some Raid Shadow Legends, and at the moment I'm about to fight a boss, but I'm having kind of trouble right now fighting this boss, so I'm gonna open some crystal shards to try and get a legendary character or something like that, and then we're gonna go and destroy this boss. So let's see what we can do. So here we are with the sacred shards. Now, you don't get many of these, they're quite difficult to get, but luckily I have one here and I can guarantee a champion, so let's see what we get. It's gonna cost 100,000 silver to open, so let's see what we get. Whoa, looks like a Trombo. What? Let's open another one. Whoa, it's a rain beast. Alright, so we're going through the sewers right now. As you can see, my new characters that I've unlocked are definitely, even though they're level 1 right now, they're destroying the other enemies at level 7, level 6, because they're much rarer to get. So it's definitely worth getting some sacred shards, I would say, and opening them up. And also it's a lot more fun because you can customize your characters a lot more. I've also upgraded some of the gear of the kind of generic characters.
just by giving them better armor and upgrading their weapons and stuff like that, which you can do just by using silver, which is nice. And this is the boss. Okay, so for the boss battles, I usually like to actually play in manual mode because it's a lot more fun. Then you actually get to choose the attacks yourself. Otherwise, it's all done for you, which is nice if you just want to, you know, upgrade your characters and that's all you care about. But playing this way is much more fun, and it kind of reminds me of like Baldur's Gate.
Are you sure about that?
See, that's a lot of damage from a level 1 already. So I'm not necessarily the best Raid Shadow player, but it is a lot of fun. I always like to take my time with the bosses, and actually it's much more tactical if you do it yourself. And I think we'll probably be fine thanks to these new characters. Otherwise, I definitely would have failed this run. So we're going to rally up. Nice, that's a lot of damage. Alright, let's target the minion. Nice, okay, so we're definitely going to be able to take down this boss. So maybe one more hit should do the trick. Close. One more time. Nice. Alright, so those new characters definitely came in clutch. And then we've unlocked the next area.
Alright, so as you can see, we just destroyed that boss. And like I said, the combat does kind of remind me of Baldur's Gate 3 in the best possible ways, especially when you do play it yourself. But if you just want to grind and level up and see your characters get stronger and stronger, that's what's satisfying about Raid, is you can just play Raid on the go, like commuting to work or, you know, like going to school or something like that. That's what I find fun about it. But you can get more involved. The gameplay mechanics are there. Here we got Rain Beast, so I'm going to just upgrade some of his gear, because already at level 1 he does way more damage than the traditional characters that you would get. So we can equip him with some armor pieces here. But then if we want to upgrade that, we go over to the upgrade menu. And upgrading is quite simple. What you need to do is you can choose to level up to do instant upgrades. Now he's going to be even stronger, dealing better damage, so it's definitely worth, even if you do have higher tier characters, to upgrade your gear, like in any RPG that's important. So, and there's plenty to do in Raid, so it keeps you busy. You know, there's the campaign mode, and that's what I find a lot of fun, you know, fighting the different bosses. But you've also got dungeons to clear as you progress. You know, I'm very close to unlocking the dungeons now. There's faction wars, arena mode, clan bosses, doom towers, cursed city, sieges, and a grim forest. So, you know, Raid has tons of content all packed in it, and it has a good sense of progression. Like, you know, any good RPG needs that sense of progression. Now let's open one more sacred shard just to see if we get any more awesome characters to help us boost us into the next area. Alright, let's see what we got. We're getting Visionary. Okay, that one I can actually pronounce. That's pretty cool. The design is so cool. Look at this. This looks like a kind of mage / warrior. I'm going to unlock a new champion because we are now in a new area, so we definitely need some more stronger champions, and then we should be able to breeze through and then get to a higher rank much quicker, and then we can fight the more difficult bosses, arena modes. That's kind of where the fun really begins. So let's unlock another rare champion. What are we gonna get this time? Whoa, it's a relic keeper. He looks pretty badass. Let's try again. Hopefully we'll get lucky and we'll get something special. Spider. Whoa, he looks pretty cool. Kind of half spider, half man, I guess. Let's try some void shards, just in case. They're cheaper, but we might get something good. Painkeeper. Alright, we're getting quite a lot of interesting characters now. Whoa, what's this? Whoa, that's some interesting armor design. I'm sure men of culture will appreciate this one. I've never got this deep before, so it's getting quite exciting. But you can see my characters now are, even though they're level 1 and we're fighting up, you know, against much harder enemies, we should be able to, you know, level up quick and still do a lot of damage to him just because these characters are so strong, see? Fighting level 7s here. But thanks to the rare shards, we're just absolutely destroying them. We should be able to level up pretty quickly and grind. This one's being a bit difficult. Whoa! And as you can see, that was a quick victory, so it looks like my new strategy is working. So that's basically the gameplay flow of Raid Shadow Legends. I think it's pretty addictive, just getting stronger and stronger is the kind of whole fun of this. So make sure you use my QR code or the link in the description. And don't forget, you can instantly unlock this starter pack with Legendary Harvest Jack from the Undead Hordes faction, and to get Kellan the Shrike. And don't forget to use one of these codes, like code BIGDAWG, and that way you can get yourself a second legendary champion of your choice. But remember, only one champion can be claimed, and I think you all know who I'm going for. Now is the best time to jump in, level up and fight today.